Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday, start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays, get the midweek boost you need. Sadhana Saturdays, dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better. Welcome. Today I'd like to explore a simple act. The act of listening. Not speaking, not reacting, not fixing. Not just hearing sounds, but engaging in what we call active listening and its benefits. Active listening is the practice of being fully present with another person, not just their words, but their tone, their energy, their pauses, their truth. And in a world that moves quickly, where responses are often prepared before understanding is reached, active listening becomes a sacred act, a bridge, a healing tool, a path to connection. So what is active listening? It's more than silence when someone else speaks. It is listening with attention, listening with intention, listening without immediately judging, fixing, or responding. It includes eye contact when appropriate, open body language, reflecting and clarifying, holding space without interruption. And there are 3 levels of listening. The first is internal listening. I hear you, but I'm focused on my response. The second is focused listening. I'm paying attention to your words. And the third is active or global listening. I hear your words, feel your emotion, and sense what is unspoken. Active listening occurs within this level. It is not passive. It is deeply engaged presence. And we may know this, yet despite all of it, we struggle to listen. And if listening is so powerful, then why is it so difficult? It's because our mind is conditioned to solve, defend, compare, interrupt, redirect attention inward. And this is often called the monkey mind. It's restless, reactive. It's a mental pattern. And common barriers include thinking about what to say next, emotional triggers, assumptions and biases, distractions such as our phone or the environment, and the need to be right. And sometimes we listen to respond, not to understand. But understanding requires slowing down the internal dialogue. And when we do so, there are emotional benefits of active listening. Active listening strengthens emotional well-being in powerful ways. 1, it builds trust. When someone feels heard, they feel safe. Safety leads to openness, and openness leads to connection. Secondly, it reduces conflict. Most conflict is not about disagreement, it's about feeling misunderstood. Listening dissolves defensiveness. Third, it enhances emotional intelligence. When you actively listen, you begin to recognize how tone shifts. You recognize emotional cues and underlying needs. You then begin to respond with awareness, not reaction. Fourth, it supports self-awareness. Listening to others teaches you about yourself. You begin to notice what triggers you, what stories you project, and where you interrupt. And then finally, it deepens relationships. People don't always remember what to say, but they remember how you made them feel. And feeling heard is one of the most powerful human experiences. Active listening isn't just emotional, it's also physiological. There are physical and mental benefits to active listening. One, it reduces stress. When you listen mindfully, your breathing slows, your nervous system regulates, and cortisol levels decrease. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the system that is your rest and digest state, where listening becomes grounding. Active listening improves cognitive function and focus. You begin to train your brain to stay present, to process information more clearly, to reduce mental clutter. Active listening supports heart health. It lowers stress and improves emotional regulation, which can contribute to lower blood pressure and improve heart rhythm. And active listening encourages mindfulness. It's meditation in motion, and it anchors you in the present moment. And there are some practical techniques you can use to engage in active listening. Begin with pausing and practicing to pause. Before you respond, pause. Even one breath creates space between reaction and response. Reflect back. You can say something like, "What I hear you're saying is," or "it sounds like you're feeling," and this builds clarity and validation. And you can ask open-ended questions instead of, "Are you okay?" You can try, "What's coming up for you right now?" And remove distractions. Put your phone and digital devices down. Turn your body towards the speaker. Presence is visible. And then also, active listening means paying attention to what's not said. Tone, energy, silence. Sometimes silence speaks the loudest. And finally, release the need to fix. Not every conversation needs a solution. Sometimes the greatest gift is simply, "I'm here." In many traditions, listening is sacred. It's seen as a spiritual practice. It's an act of compassion, of service, of awareness. When you truly listen, you quiet your ego. You honor another's experience. You create space for truth. Listening becomes a form of presence meditation. You're no longer centered in self. You are centered in connection. And this is where healing happens, not through words, but through being received. Active listening builds trust, reduces stress, deepens relationships, enhances awareness, supports healing. More than all of this, it transforms how you move through the world. So I invite you to practice to listen without interrupting, to listen without fixing, to listen without preparing your response. Simply just listen, because in that space, you offer something rare, something powerful, something deeply human. So I'd like to invite you to silently repeat an affirmation. I listen with presence. I listen with compassion. I listen to understand, not to respond. In listening, I create connection. In connection, I create healing. Take a breath in and out. Active listening is not about becoming silent. It's about becoming present. And when presence meets another human being, it becomes one of the most powerful forms of care that we can offer. Thank you for sharing time and space today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.